In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful. Assalamu alaikum, family. Following up on the video I made yesterday from the subject that Minister Farrakhan dealt with in Closing the Gap, the process toward perfection. So we are still in the process. And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan explained, the different periods in the transition, growth and change and transition. That's the first stage. The second stage is growth and change and transition, and the third stage, growth and change and transition, and the process continues. That there must be, within the transition, within the journey, there must be change or growth that produces change. No growth, no change. Because where there is no growth, there can be no change. And where there is no change, really, there is no growth. So here we are in this process. The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says in the process of transition is where we can get lost. Because as you travel along the path, he says path, the transitory path, any sway or deviation from the target, you can get lost in that process. And in that process, you never meet the objective. The objective is, first we have to understand, a denial of this self, the taking up of my cross, and following the example that was laid before me of the Jesus, the Christ, the Messiah. If he had to suffer, then I can't get to the goal without the expectation that I too must face some suffering. I too must go through some pain. But within my pain, I have to realize that my pain is a part of my growth. That will bring about my change as I transition. So as our FOI lessons teaches, that an FOI is trained to meet and overcome all obstacle that comes in his path. So as you travel, you are trained. Think about that. How do you become trained? There is no training in martial arts or self-defense if you do not enter the dojo, if you do not join the class and begin at basic, you get your white belt and your other belts and your other belts, you evolve. So the trainer is bringing you through the process until you achieve your black belt. And you may be a 1 degree black belt, a 2 degree black belt, 3rd degree black belt. Then you know you're a master. But the process must begin somewhere. What the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is saying to us, that the process does not end until it ends. And we can't be at basic level of understanding, of maturity, of intellect, and believe that we are there. We can't be at secondary level of understanding and intellect and believe that we are there. We can't even just enter into tertiary and think that we are there. We have to graduate with our degree. You have to become a master. Now, in self-defense or martial arts, you are put under pressure, severe pressure. You have to face lots of pain for you to evolve, for you to grow in that field. And it's the same way in academics, because you have to, whichever course that you are set out on accomplishing, you have to spend nights. I remember as a young man going to school, there was this poem that we used to recite. The heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward through the night. That's the process of accomplishing your academic achievement. You have to be on the books at it. You have to be in class to get what your professor has to offer. There is no difference in our evolution towards perfection. The evolution towards perfection coming from imperfection must be a process where pain is involved, struggle is involved. But at every point of pain, if you can endure, now we are always taught that God does not give a man more than he can bear. But he is not giving you with you knowing that you can bear it. But he knows that you can bear it. But when the test comes, because that's not the test that you desire, then you fall out of the process at basic, you fall out of the process at secondary, you fall out of the process at even tertiary. You reach to the door and then turn back. Why? Because your expectations are not met. Your spirit has been bothered by a brother, by a sister, something that somebody says, something that somebody did, it affected you in a certain way, and you sway. You come off course. You never get to where you are supposed to go and complete the process. My battery is going to need some charge, so I'll have to come back and finish up.